the meantime, West Texas crude pulling back overnight as investors monitor those reports that Russia is pulling back some troops after concluding drills. Joining us right now to talk more about all of this is John Kilduff. He is, again, Capital founding partner and a CNBC contributor. And, John, just looking at the headlines, kind of reading through what's happening, you see the crude pulling back by about 2.8%. Where do you think crude should be if the reports are true, if the Russians do pull back their troops and this doesn't happen, the invasion?
Let's hope to God that they do and continue to follow through on this, because obviously this would be a horrific situation in terms of the loss of human life if you believe the estimates that have been floating around about what an incursion would bring. Just wanted to say, in terms of the sarcasm comment, Becky, that gallows humor is a well-known survival tactic. So not unsurprising that the Ukraine president would talk that way. I think the price of oil would be around closer to $90 a barrel, either side of it by $2 for right now, as we finish up this high demand winter season and given the backdrop of the tight supplies that we're still staring down. We're coming out of that, though. We're coming out of this intense demand period for a while. We'll go into the spring shoulder demand season ahead of the summer driving season here in the U.S. and obviously other activities in Europe. So this was a very tense situation, and I think those of us who have been around not only Putin, but Lavrov yesterday, I thought his comments were key about sort of floating an idea with President Putin about getting out of this thing. Somehow diplomatically. Lavrov, big, long-time oil minister for Russia, known very well to those of us in the market who follow OPEC and OPEC Plus now closely. That was key yesterday, his commentary to me. But the circling of the date of February 16th and the moving of the U.S. Embassy, as Mr. O'Hanlon said yesterday, sort of made us all a lot more nervous about the situation. So I think the pullback you're seeing overnight will continue to the extent we see more troop pullback.
John, do you believe the early headlines at this point? Are you ready to say, OK, we're relaxing? This is something where I would feel much more confident that this invasion is not going to happen? Or are you still kind of wait and see what happens next?
I've been somewhat skeptical all along that Putin would pull the trigger on this and invade Ukraine. I think this is a high-level head game he's playing. I think it's also he wanted to make the point that he could do it and what it would look like. It seemed odd to me that you'd mass all these troops the way he has and seemingly make them sitting ducks to a degree. No, I mean, is this really what modern warfare looks like? So this was the mother of all saber rattlings. And again, just to put it in perspective from the things that I have witnessed and observed and had to sort of, process over the years, going to war is really a high bar in a lot of parts of the country. I remember when the Abqaiq facility in Saudi Arabia got bombed. I mean, if there was ever a time we were going to take it to Iran for doing that via the Houthis in Yemen, that was it. And nothing happened. So that's why I try to be very measured about these things, because the diplomatic off-ramp is at the very last second, but it gets taken like somebody going from the left lane to the right lane and going across 3 lanes of traffic so they don't miss the exit at the very last moment. Maybe cause a couple accidents along the way as they get off that highway, but they get off that highway.
That's what Mike O'Hanlon was saying yesterday as well, just this idea that Putin has been very critical of the United States for the wars they've gotten into and can't get out of in Afghanistan and other places. Would he really want to start a similar war himself?
And he, too, having remembered Russia's misadventure in Afghanistan itself. It's not a pretty thing. The Ukrainians are tough. I mean, you see them preparing. And again, the level of loss that's again been floated out there, not my numbers, but just horrific. I mean, just are we really going to do that to ourselves again? It's just remarkable to me. And, I know you guys have been talking about Germany. Part of Germany's hook or addiction to Russian hydrocarbons actually goes back to World War II, and the Germans trying to sort of make it up to Russia to a degree and give them business and try to form deep commercial ties so that they never have to get into that again. That's one of the reasons that goes on. And so I think that, again, this is a very high level head game that President Putin is playing with all of us.